In the PTR, we put together this Necro with some pretty insane gear that can do 8.4k Bone Spirit damage, followed by 8.2k Bone Spirit. I'll give you a quick look at the gear to kind of show you what that looks like. We do have a 322 open socket helm here, a plus 310 amulet, and we use a venomous mummified trophy here for plus 3 to poison and bone skills with a natural spawn to Bone Spear and Bone Spirit. White Wand may be one of the best things that can boost up your damage significantly in the new patch. This very cheap rune word gives you plus 3 to poison and bone skills, and the wands that you can make them in can spawn with a natural plus 3 to Bone Spear and Bone Spirit on them. The rest of the gear here looks very similar to ones that I've talked about in previous videos, so I won't really go over this too much. We put just enough points into strength to wear an ethereal spirit monarch for our battle orders on the swap, and the rest of our points go right into vitality. As far as the skill tree goes, we basically just max Bone Spirit and all of its synergies. You can actually completely do that at level 91, and then whatever else you have for skills, feel free to put into amplify damage for those team duels, and definitely Clay Golem for a nice little meat shield when you're teleporting around. Now, some people might be thinking that this setup is kind of unreasonable and that they're probably not going to change their Necro over to this. For those people, I say that you can still have pretty GG stuff with slight alterations to your gear. For example, Dark Force Spawn is a very underutilized, unique Necro head here, and this will give you up to plus 3 to poison and bone skills and comes with an inherent plus 30 faster cast rate. Also, the increased maximum mana 10% is pretty solid. If you combine this with your typical 220 amulet, you can actually hit the 125% faster cast rate breakpoint for this Necro in PvP. Now, you might notice that this guy doesn't really have a lot of faster hit recovery. That's because in this new patch, that will work quite a bit differently. Basically, the less amount of faster hit recovery that you have, the more frames that you have to get out of certain stun locks in PvP. So with this build in particular, and with that in mind, we actually just tried to get that down as low as possible. Is that the best way to go about patching how FHR works in Diablo 2 Resurrected? Well, probably not really, but it is a huge step in the right direction. Some builds will actually use the Sandstorm Treks or even Shadow Dancers on their Necro in previous patches for that faster hit recovery. Now, we just use Alder's Advance. No faster hit recovery, a big boost to life, faster run walk, and fire resist, which is something that Necros struggle with. Couple that with the fact that this new shield we can use here that has cast on it, but no faster hit recovery, that actually combos pretty well with the approach that we're taking with this Necro. When you consider that this exact same Necro on regular patch 2.3 for Diablo 2 Resurrected only does 6.5k with the Bone Spirit, you notice how much of a damage boost this is actually going to be when this patch drops. Now, while we couldn't acquire all of the things that we necessarily needed on BattleNet to put this together in the current patch, we did get pretty close. The damage is a bit subpar on this build that we put together online, but it's 5.3, almost 5.4k, and when the patch drops, this is going to be closer to 7.9. But the reason I have so much faith in this Necro is that he is already good. He is already an S-tier build in patch 2.3. And to sort of show that off, I've put together a dueling compilation here of this guy with an absolute nub, myself, playing him in the Bloodmoor against some pretty worthy opponents. And mind you, this is with the current version of this Necro, so you can see sort of how interesting the style of dueling is and how dominant of a force this character already is. Cannot wait until this damage gets buffed. This guy is going to be one of the only dudes that dominates the Bloodmoor. Get him! Get him! GG. Can we get aggro with the barb now? Kinda? Go Goober. What is Goober? He's a paladin. Ah, he's a hammerman. Okay. That's brutal. It sure is, and it's about to get worse. Go bow. All right, so he's bow, I'd imagine. All right, so. Necro busted. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. It needs to be like nerfed. Like this is on the current patch. This is not even fun. Now granted, that's not a dual Colossus in, so he has no chance to block any of those spirits. So it's like worst case scenario against the Sim, but even still, like just not needed. Not at all needed.